Radically altered, Episode 5 delivers more unexpected turns, deeper betrayals, and raw heartbreak than ever before. The stakes have escalated. The atmosphere is thick with unbearable tension, and the Duttons find themselves confronting a tempest that threatens their very foundation. This exclusive preview offers the first true insight into the impending turmoil. Believe me, missing this is not an option. The situation is poised to become intensely brutal. As we delve into Episode 5, the gravity of the Dutton situation has reached an unprecedented peak. Spencer's journey, once defined by his flight from violence and his desperate pursuit of peace, is now set to collide with forces far beyond his imagining. The air crackles with tension as the menace of Banner Creighton and Donald Whitfield's sinister schemes casts a long shadow over them. Spencer may have narrowly escaped one battle, but the true war is just beginning. Banner's lust for the Dutton land morphs into something far darker. His previously conflicted nature has given way to pure ambition. To Banner, the Duttons are mere obstacles on his path to dominance. We witness him forging alliances that could cost the family everything they painstakingly built. With Whitfield manipulating events from behind the scenes, Banner evolves into an even more formidable threat, propelled by a manic desire to seize what he believes is rightfully his. Yet the most chilling force remains Donald Whitfield. He is a master manipulator, a puppeteer of the highest order, and this episode offers a terrifying glimpse into the extremes he's willing to reach. When Donald promises substantial returns to investors, the weight of his words is almost palpable. In this brutal landscape, wealth equals power, a truth Donald understands better than anyone. He peddles fantasies of immense riches, but the hidden cost is ominously unspoken. His offer seems too good to be true, and within the perilous Dutton reality, it surely is. The question lingers, can anyone stop his avarice, or will all be consumed by it? Meanwhile, Spencer, though no stranger to conflict, faces what may be his most personal battle yet. The telegraph sent to Montana has fallen into hostile hands, specifically Banner's. The stage is set for a move that could shatter Spencer's world. His formidable reputation precedes him. Once Banner uncovers the truth of Spencer's identity and capabilities, he will stop at nothing to eliminate him. The threat extends beyond Spencer's life. His arduous journey, his love for Alexandra, and their unborn child are all vulnerable to the cruel machinations of those bent on their destruction. As Spencer faces this rising storm, we also witness Alexandra's agonizing descent. Stripped of dignity, wealth, and status, her love for Spencer is the only thing keeping her going. The harsh reality of her situation is almost too painful to bear. Once a duchess, she is now utterly divested of her past life, confronting the brutal consequences of her choices. Her struggle has become a desperate fight for survival. As the episode progresses, Alexandra falls into the hands of merciless strangers, her deepest fears taking form. It's a brutal testament to the magnitude of her sacrifice for love and her naivete regarding its true cost. Can she endure long enough to reunite with Spencer, or will she be broken by the unforgiving world she now inhabits? Back in Montana, there is no reprieve. The Dutton Ranch itself is imperiled as Banner's schemes progress. Once a symbol of strength and pride, the ranch now teeters on the brink of collapse. Elizabeth, once a stabilizing force in the family, finds herself in a perilous position. Pregnant and exposed, she must navigate the treacherous political and emotional currents swirling around her. The imminent arrival of another child, typically a beacon of hope, only intensifies the pain. It stands as a constant reminder of all that is at stake. As the episode draws toward its conclusion, fractures begin to form within the Dutton family's very foundation. Each member battles internal demons. Turmoil reigns, but in a world where survival often demands betrayal, can trust endure, or will the burden of loyalty prove too heavy? The forces converging in Episode 5 are relentless. No one, not even the formidable Duttons, will escape the consequences. Suspense reaches a near unbearable peak. The stakes have never been higher, with the Dutton survival hanging in the balance. Questions loom large. Will Spencer's past finally catch up to him? Will Banner's insatiable hunger for power destroy everything the Duttons hold dear? And will Alexandra's harrowing journey end in heartbreak or redemption? One certainty remains: Episode 5 will leave audiences captivated, clinging to the edge of their seats, desperate for what comes next. As the episode gains momentum, we are thrust into the mounting pressure upon the Duttons. Spencer, Alexandra, and their companions confront challenges that threaten to consume them. Surviving the mafia was not enough. The Duttons are now caught in a sprawling conspiracy bent on erasing them from all directions. Evasion is no longer possible. The battle lines have been drawn. Episode 5 promises to unveil the deadly repercussions of this escalating war. Spencer's plight becomes more desperate as he uncovers the scope of Banner's plan to seize the ranch. Banner's desire to reshape the land has metastasized into obsession. What makes him so dangerous is that he isn't simply fueled by hatred. He believes his vision is just. That belief is what makes him lethal. But Banner underestimates Spencer's resolve. Spencer's bond with the land and with his family is unshakable. No matter Banner's threats, Spencer will not yield without a fight. This confrontation, however, will be unlike any before. The battle for the Dutton land will force Spencer to confront the darkest parts of himself, parts he never expected to face. From the outset of this episode, it is clear Spencer is cornered. He recognizes Banner's growing influence and his own dwindling options. We witness him grapple with his greatest fear, the possibility that he may be unable to protect the woman he loves and their unborn child. The personal stakes have never been higher. As the full scope of Banner's intricate plans becomes clear, Spencer realizes that stopping the imminent chaos requires direct, decisive action. But the question remains, how can a single individual stand against a corrupt, powerful network, especially with Alexandra's fate hanging precariously in the balance? Will Spencer be forced to make the ultimate sacrifice to save those he holds dearest? While Spencer wrestles with this looming menace, we also observe a significant evolution in Banner's character. This episode delves into his psyche, revealing his complexities. He isn't merely a caricature of evil. Banner operates under his own warped principles, and we begin to comprehend the roots of his entitlement toward the Dutton legacy. Learning more about his history reveals that he's not a mindless antagonist, but a man driven by a volatile mix of ambition, deep-seated insecurity, and an overwhelming desire for control. Yet understanding his motives doesn't mitigate the fact that Banner remains an exceptionally dangerous foe. His strategies to dismantle the Duttons are more calculated and ruthless than ever. The most shocking development in this episode is witnessing Donald Whitfield's insidious influence spread, transforming individuals like Banner into mere pawns within his larger, more sinister game. It's profoundly unsettling how Donald manipulates the vulnerable and power-hungry, convincing them their ambitions align perfectly with his own destructive agenda. Donald isn't just seeking power. He aims to annihilate anyone obstructing his path, with the Duttons squarely at the top of his list. We begin to perceive the true extent of his reach, and his capacity to orchestrate events from the shadows renders him an even more formidable adversary. Watching Donald operate makes it chillingly clear that his goal isn't merely acquiring land or wealth. He seeks to fundamentally reshape the existing order. The Duttons' entire way of life is under direct assault. Donald intends to leave them utterly broken, dispersed, and stripped of all power. Meanwhile, far across the country, Alexandra's suffering takes a darker, unforeseen turn. Her world lies shattered, leaving her clinging desperately to the faint hope of Spencer's rescue. But this episode starkly reveals the grim realities she now confronts. No longer in constant luxury, Alexandra must face the brutal, unforgiving truths of survival in an increasingly hostile world. Her former innocence has evaporated, replaced by the cold, harsh necessity of fighting tooth and nail for her very existence. Her bond with Spencer remains her sole anchor, yet the longer her ordeal persists, the more she questions if the cost is bearable. Witnessing her endure humiliation and profound loss is gut-wrenching, but it also paves the way for one of the most emotionally charged confrontations the series has yet to offer. Can she maintain her grip on hope long enough for Spencer to reach her, or will the overwhelming forces surrounding her finally extinguish her spirit? Back at the Dutton ranch, the family situation grows increasingly precarious. While Elizabeth valiantly tries to maintain stability, her pregnancy compounds the immense weight of their circumstances. The ranch, once a haven, has transformed into a veritable war zone, with each new day bringing fresh threats. The episode plunges deeper into the family's mounting desperation, illustrating how even those perceived as the unshakable foundation of the Dutton legacy begin to fracture under relentless pressure. We observe Elizabeth and others steeling themselves for what might be their final stand, a desperate effort to protect their land, their heritage, and their very lives. But can they possibly prevail? Will the Duttons mount a successful defense, or will they be overwhelmed by the crushing force arrayed against them? As the episode progresses, the tension becomes unbearable. Every character faces a critical juncture. Will they continue fighting for what they cherish, or will they succumb to the seemingly inevitable tide of destruction? With countless lives hanging in the balance, the outcome remains uncertain. Who will endure and who will fall? One thing is undeniable: the path forward is fraught with heartbreak, betrayal, and the ultimate agonizing question of who will emerge victorious in this brutal game of survival. The episode masterfully sets the stage for an explosive confrontation, making it terrifyingly clear that no one, not even the resilient Duttons, will be untouched by the devastating fallout. As the tension escalates further, the pressure on Spencer intensifies to an almost unimaginable degree. The walls relentlessly close in, and each move he makes pushes the Dutton family closer to the precipice. The once seemingly indomitable Spencer, the man who yearned desperately to escape the cycle of violence from his past, now finds himself ensnared in a complex web of betrayal, manipulation, and the stark, unforgiving reality of the world he inhabits. The stakes have transcended mere survival. They now encompass love, loyalty, and the very essence of family. Spencer's role becomes increasingly pivotal as he resolves to confront directly those who seek to obliterate everything he holds dear. In this crucial episode, Spencer undergoes a significant transformation. We witness the man who once recoiled from confrontation, who actively shunned the world's violence, now embracing a more aggressive, darker persona. The man he was is receding as Spencer accepts that he can no longer outrun the encroaching storm. The defense of the Dutton legacy has morphed into his intensely personal war, and he refuses to remain passive while the life he fought so hard to build is threatened. His journey, previously defined by escape, is now characterized by the urgent necessity of fighting for his loved ones. The impending clash with Banner and Donald appears unavoidable, a battle that may cost Spencer everything. Yet his fierce determination to protect Alexandra and their unborn child compels him to take a stand in ways previously unimaginable. Transformation becomes even more poignant with Spencer's enduring connection to Alexandra. Their love, once a radiant source of hope and happiness, now feels like a fading ember against the harsh backdrop of their unforgiving reality. Despite being forced into this darker, more confrontational role, Spencer's core motivation remains steadfastly clear: Alexandra. Throughout this episode, we observe Spencer pushing his limits, every action fueled by the unwavering need to honor his promise to her. The profound weight of their relationship becomes emblematic of everything the Duttons are fighting to preserve. Their love acts as a solitary beacon in a world rapidly succumbing to darkness. Alexandra's struggle continues. Her agonizing descent in Episode 5 marks a turning point, her situation deteriorating beyond anything previously conceived. Her resilience, which had remained remarkably steadfast, is now tested to its absolute breaking point. She is no longer simply a woman deeply in love. She is a survivor employing every ounce of her being to cling to the fragile hope that Spencer will locate and rescue her from this living nightmare. Yet, with each passing moment, the odds against her seem increasingly insurmountable. The sheer brutality of the world she's trapped in compels her to make choices she never imagined, revealing a raw, unfiltered aspect of her character. Alexandra is forced to confront the stark reality of the immense price she has paid for love and for her dreams. The woman who once viewed the world with wide-eyed excitement now perceives it through a grim lens of fear and profound desperation. What makes Alexandra's arc so heart-wrenching is her persistent belief in Spencer, even as she begins to doubt her own capacity to endure this harrowing journey. She has already sacrificed so much: her wealth, her social standing, her dignity, and now her very survival hangs precariously in the balance. We witness her being forced into impossible decisions merely to stay alive. The encroaching darkness of her surroundings seems to intensify with every step, casting a deep shadow over her uncertain future. Yet, even amidst the depths of her suffering, her connection to Spencer remains profoundly powerful. She refuses to abandon hope in him despite losing everything else. Their undeniable love serves as the primary driving force behind her will to survive. But will love alone suffice to save her? Or will the cruel realities of her world ultimately prove too overwhelming? Meanwhile, Banner's intricate scheme advances with full momentum. His alliance with Donald only amplifies his dangerousness. With Banner now fully committed to Donald's objective of destroying the Duttons, he transforms into an even more menacing adversary. We glimpse a side of him previously unseen. His ruthless fixation on claiming what he perceives as rightfully his blinds him to all else. His alliances, forged out of desperation, are poised to trigger a violent escalation. There is no retreat for Banner now. In Episode 5, he irrevocably crosses the point of no return, his character utterly consumed by ambition. Even more disturbing is his manipulation of those closest to him, including his own wife, to achieve his ends. The terrifying lengths he's prepared to go for control reveal a willingness to sacrifice his own humanity in pursuit of power. Donald, true to form, continues to orchestrate events with sinister precision. He remains the shadowy figure behind every strategic move, manipulating individuals like Banner to edge closer to his ultimate objective, the complete annihilation of the Duttons. As he persists in dangling promises of wealth and influence, those who follow him become unwitting pawns in his elaborate, destructive game. His plans grow increasingly devious, and with each passing moment, the Duttons' chances of survival seem to diminish further. However, Donald's supreme confidence might ultimately prove his undoing. He dangerously underestimates the resilience of the Duttons, particularly Spencer. This episode offers subtle hints of Donald's potential downfall, rooted in his over-reliance on manipulation proves to be a critical weakness. The Duttons have weathered worse storms before, and their inherent strength, especially Spencer's, could be the decisive factor that finally turns the tide against him. Back at the Dutton Ranch, Elizabeth's role assumes greater significance than ever. Her pregnancy serves as a potent symbol of hope, yet it simultaneously underscores the immense risks the family confronts as tensions mount. Elizabeth must navigate the treacherous waters of familial loyalty versus self-preservation. Having already endured profound loss, and now with a child on the way, she faces the daunting task of protecting both her immediate family and the enduring legacy of the Dutton name. The pressure on her to remain steadfast beside her family is immense. In this episode, we witness her remarkable transformation into a fierce protector. She is no longer merely the rancher's wife. She is a warrior, prepared to fight relentlessly to ensure her family's survival. As we progress through the episode, the impending confrontation between the Duttons and their adversaries becomes starkly inevitable. Every character from Spencer and Elizabeth to Banner and Donald treads a precarious tightrope, with betrayal poisoning the air and alliances constantly shifting. No one remains safe. The world of 1923 stands on the brink of erupting in ways previously unimaginable. What sacrifices will be necessary for the Duttons' survival, and who will ultimately be left standing amidst the ashes of this brutal conflict? As the episode unfolds, the emotional stakes continue their relentless climb, forcing us to confront the devastating consequences stemming from the characters' choices within the unforgiving landscape of 1923. No one is immune, and the capricious turns of fortune feel almost unbearable. Spencer's path grows increasingly fraught with peril. His desperate struggle to shield Alexandra from the encroaching forces sets the stage for some of the series' most intense and emotionally charged moments yet. The episode delves deeply into the escalating tension between Spencer and Banner, with their conflict evolving into a raw, full-blown battle of wills. Banner, initially a secondary threat, now emerges as one of the most formidable adversaries the Duttons have ever encountered. His interest extends beyond mere land acquisition. He is resolutely determined to dismantle the entire foundation the Duttons have painstakingly built. Banner's manipulations grow sharper, his willingness to employ any means necessary to achieve his objectives, rendering him even more dangerous. This episode reveals a more sinister facet of his character. His actions stem not just from greed, but from a deep-seated resentment and bitterness. Banner feels inherently entitled to the Dutton land, convinced his vision for its future vastly surpasses theirs. His cold, calculating demeanor makes him a terrifying opponent, forcing Spencer into a direct, unavoidable confrontation. However, Spencer battles more than just Banner's ruthless ambition. He fights against a system inherently biased against him. The traditional world of the Duttons, once steeped in strength and heritage, is being systematically crushed beneath the weight of modern forces, indifferent to the values that once defined them. As Spencer becomes further entrenched in this desperate fight, we witness his growing determination to secure a future for Alexandra and himself. The decision to fight for her, to protect her above all else, becomes an almost overwhelming burden. The stakes for Spencer have reached an apex. He's no longer merely battling for survival, but for a fragile chance at happiness, a life liberated from the perpetual violence and heartbreak synonymous with the Dutton name. Yet, as this episode starkly reveals, the true cost of victory in this fight may be far greater than Spencer ever imagined. Meanwhile, Alexandra's struggle continues on its tragic and unpredictable trajectory. Facing the brutal realities of her journey, she is thrust into situations capable of breaking even the most resilient individuals continue to unfold. Her fortitude, once a beacon of hope, is tested to its absolute limit as she confronts choices that could irrevocably alter her life's course. Her vulnerability is palpable and painful to observe. Having plummeted from the pinnacle of her privileged existence, Alexandra now finds herself utterly stripped of wealth, status, and most devastatingly, her sense of self. In this episode, she faces her most harrowing challenge yet, simply surviving long enough for a potential reunion with Spencer. The immense emotional toll this ordeal exacts is impossible to overlook, and the manner in which she carries this crushing burden is nothing short of heartbreaking. The love shared between her and Spencer remains her guiding light, her beacon of hope. Yet, that hope flickers precariously as her situation becomes increasingly dire with each passing day. Alexandra's journey in this episode serves as a stark, brutal reminder of the era's harsh realities and the exorbitant price of pursuing love in such a perilous world. The stakes for her are impossibly high, compelling the audience to confront the grim possibility that, in 1923, happy endings are a rare, perhaps non-existent commodity.